Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another duo mock draft. And was there a weirder time frame from when we recorded our mock draft when it uploaded? Because it went out of date very quickly with the Rams trading their pick to the Chiefs. Then I went in, I fixed it, I added something, and then the day before it goes up, the Max Crosby trade happens, and oh wow, this mock draft is out of date. And I was thinking about that. I was so mad. Then a couple days later, oh, trade rescinded. The mock draft's up to date. It was up to date until the Broncos and Dolphins just made a trade. So I was a little sad.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's gonna happen. We know that, so teams will jump around. I'm thinking that Achan might still be gone before the actual draft as well. I don't think it'll be afterwards. So
I
we'll
also
see
don't
what
think, though,
happens.
that would affect a mock draft. But by with what I mean that, I don't think it's a first round pick or even a second round pick.
Oh, I do. I really do.
I don't. Too many injuries. uh, Now, I will have the odds. He will have the evens. We will not be doing trades. If we would like to trade down, we will let you know. If there's a not positional value we like, not a player we like for a certain team, we will let you know. I know you really wanted me to get that in there because you love talking about trading down. And me, it's whatever for me. I don't bet on trades anymore. Trades don't happen in the draft as much as we hype them up to be, in my opinion.
Well, in this year, more so probably than the last few years, I really think there's going to be less trades in the first round.
I
So
think we'll see trades happen to get into the top 10 and then stone quiet. Maybe we see a move, someone jump in the back end of the first round.
just to get that fifth year option.
Yeah, but outside of that, I just don't see a lot of movement happening after we get outside the top 10.
Fair enough. All right. So the Las Vegas Raiders are on the clock.
Does anyone need me to say it for the millionth time? Fernando Mendoza. We've all heard why. We all know why it's going to happen. Tom Brady reportedly loves him. I mean, he went to the College World Playoff game. And the weird thing is, Fernando Mendoza, he has a lot of Brady mannerisms when he's interviewed. And it's kind of weird until you realize, oh, yeah, he probably grew up watching Tom Brady and idolized him.
Well, most people that had, that planned on playing quarterback or else did idolize Tom Brady. So,
And 100% right. There is no one better to and idolize because he's not like a Rodgers. He's not like this gifted quarterback that has this arm that he can just flick a wrist and it's downfield. He had to still work very hard, even though he did have gifts that very few people are born with. He wasn't born as just a genetic freak like some of the guys we see today.
no, 100%. 100%.
How did the
So,
Raiders pick turn into us talking about Tom Brady?
well, I mean, obviously. So the Jets are on the clock. So, ironically, I mean, the Jets need help all over the place. Just so that everybody knows, we are using PFF and we're using the big board. So, according to the needs for the Jets, it's QB, wide receiver, edge, and cornerback. I still feel that, with the exception of maybe their offensive line, and I mean, and there's nobody really you're going to take at number two in this draft anyway. I think anybody is pretty much open, and since they have two first round draft picks, I'm going to go kind of a chalk pick, and I'm going to take Arvell Reese, linebacker, Ohio State.
I gotta
He's
ask you
just
the question: linebacker or edge with him? Because a lot of people still like him as an edge. Well, I'm very much in the camp of he's a linebacker.
here's the thing: all three downs, right? So first and second down, linebacker. Then you can use him depending upon the down and distance. You can use him as an edge, right? So I think he's very versatile. So just get arguably the best player in the draft on your team and go from there.
Yeah. Looking at who's available here for the Cardinals, it's like, would there be anything wrong with me taking practically any position here? They just have so many needs. Like, you look at the offensive line. yeah, they need it. They don't really have a quarterback they have to worry about. I mean, Gardner Minshew's their starter at this moment, if I'm correct. And
Uh, are we forgetting about Gino?
Gino, no, he's a Jet. I'm talking about the Cardinals.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
I'm talking about the Cardinals. I'm like, wait,
My apologies.
no,
One
no.
day, folks.
Uh, but going on, like, I think anybody on the board here is acceptable besides Jeremiah Love. Would you agree?
Yes, but to be quite honest, I would say Jeremiah Love would technically be on the board as well. I mean,
But
yeah.
if you're the Cardinals, why take a running back now when you're
Oh
just
no,
in?
100%. I'm just saying that every position is open to them. That's kind of where I was going.
Yeah, like the probably the worst thing for them is there's not really a quarterback you want to take here, and that's really their biggest need. So you look at the offensive line, you need to build that up. Well, who do we want to take here? My number 5th player on the board is the guard from Penn State, Ione. I still can't pronounce his first name. I apologize. But he is very high on my board. But I did that last mock draft, and I want to be a little different here. So I want to throw a curveball, and I'm just going to take one of my top 2 players on the board, and I'm going to go with just a guy I really love in Sonny Styles. Just give a game changer on that Cardinals defense. Because realistically here, if you're the Cardinals, you're just picking for talent. You don't need to focus on need. Who's a guy
You're
that's
not
talented?
relevant this year anyway. You're really not relevant this year anyway.
And even though Styles is my 2nd player on the board, there are concerns about Caleb Downs' knee. I don't know the full details on that. So when I'm looking at this just on paper, I'm going to take the guy that doesn't have the medical red flag that I don't know fully about, and I'm going to take the guy that can really develop and become one of those game changer linebackers. And the teams that have those game changer linebackers tend to be pretty good defenses.
Yeah. So, been listening to a lot of mock drafts, of course, because what else are you going to do when you're stuck in your car most of the day? And Jeremiah Love has been kind of a chalk pick lately, right? I'm sorry, I don't see that. I really think they need to go and build up their trenches, both offensively and defensively, and just looking at the players available and looking at the hustle that these players have, I'm going to take David Bailey here for them. You think about their head coach, Saleh. Bailey seems like a Saleh guy.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
And the New York Football Giants are on the clock.
See, this is hard because from everything I see online, I'm lower on this Giants team because I still don't like this offense. And I've heard pretty much, I'm willing to say at this point, Jeremiah Love will be a Giant here. It sounds like all signs are pointing to that. It's really headed that direction.
If he doesn't get taken by Tennessee first, right?
I've heard way more Giants talk than Titans talk. Titans, it seems like they're... I would be shocked that Titans don't take either Bain or Bailey with what it sounds like from them.
No, and that makes sense. Hey, folks, just so we're clear, and this is probably going to shock all of you, not all of these mock drafts are 100% correct. Sometimes we get pulled in and we're like, oh, the Giants were going to take him or the Giants were going to take him, and it doesn't happen. And you're like, well, what the heck? And basically, we don't know what these teams are really going to take. It's just an uneducated guess.
Yeah. With what I am saying is I have some people that are familiar with the Harbaugh camp that I'm in touch with, and I know they love Love. So my prediction draft night, Jeremiah Love will be a New York Giant. From everything I've gathered, that's one of the few picks I feel like very certain about. But I would not take a running back here for a couple reasons. One, I don't think the Giants running backs are all that bad. I mean, Cam Scadaboo's coming off a very nasty injury, and Tyrone Tracy, I think, is a good number 2. If Scadaboo is good, I think you're solid there. I detest this offensive line still. I don't like it. I think you're going to get pretty much whoever you put back there as the running back. I don't think you're going to let them get their ceiling behind this offensive line. And one of my biggest issues with them is I do not like their interior. So I mentioned him for the Cardinals. I'm taking him now. I am taking Ione from Penn State here for the New York Giants.
So just so we're clear, this is not predictive. This is what we would do.
Yeah. And very much so that I just really cannot stand this Giants offensive line still. It's just not there. And when Harbaugh teams are at their best, and this goes for both brothers, they have good trench play. And the Giants just do not have that on the offense side of the football at all.
Well, so here's the thing. I would love to take Ruben Bain Jr. right here. Put him opposite Myles Garrett. And I mean, we've heard about how Bain's arms are a little bit shorter. But we also have seen what he was able to do in college, right? And so I feel like disengaging from a single block is definitely something he can do. Maybe he'll struggle a little bit with, double teams. But how in the world are you going to double team that man when you have Myles Garrett on the opposite side? And so just from a strictly chaotic, I would love to see that front line defense. I would really like to take that. But their offensive line is a wreck as well. And so I'm going to take Maui Goa.
The first Miami Hurricane coming off the board here.
Yeah. And now we have the Washington Commanders.
Commanders fans, I'm pretty sure you know this, but I'm just going to repeat it. If this pick isn't defense, you guys have full right to storm that front office building because with what I watched them put on the field, they're lucky they're in the same division as the Cowboys and the Bengals are also in the NFL because that defense was just so bad. So, I'm going to look at this here. And the Commanders are kind of in a win-now-ish mode because Daniels looks good. Now, can you have concerns about him staying healthy? Absolutely. But you also look at the fact, here, you're the perfect person to ask. When was Dan Quinn at his best with the defense? What did he have back there?
Well, he had a healthy Bobby Wagner and a spot-on secondary.
And that's what I'm focused on here is the secondary. I'm going to look at safety Caleb Downs here. I am less concerned about his knee if I'm Washington because, like I said, they at least have their quarterback. They can go a bit more win now than, say, the Cardinals, the Browns, the Giants, the Titans, the Jets, and the Raiders. The Raiders won't take him. The Commanders are kind of the perfect spot for him, and he can just go play that back-end safety role of, I'm just going to take all over this area, don't throw here, and I'll help the Commanders out a bunch.
Good pick. And I think the Commanders would be just tickled pink with that, right?
I don't know. They might take Akeem Mesidor just because he's older.
Yeah. They need a lot of help. D-line being one of them, linebacker. But I'm just going to take Ruben Bain. They lost a lot on the defensive side, so we're going to take Bain and go from there.
You have the Chiefs. You know me. You know what I look for in a secondary. You know what I look for at cornerback position. And, well, you know me and the Chiefs tend to agree on this position quite a bit. So who do you think I'm going here is my question.
You can take Thieneman. I think that's a little too early for him. I'm not as high on Delane as everybody else is. McCoy are the best cornerback if he was healthy in the draft, but 14 plus months and he hasn't done anything. I mean, is he going to slide down? Honestly, if it was me, although right now probably not this far down, but just for how they play defense. And so I would Colton Hood just because he reminds me so much of what they've had in the past. So, and I don't think you could have Colton Hood later on in the draft. So I don't really think that's it. So I basically don't know.
Let's go back to 2021. There was one cornerback I was pounding the table for. Trent
Yes.
McDuffie.
Yes.
There's one guy here I just see as Trent McDuffie. I just see him on the field. I see my McDuffie flashes. I see it all. And I'm like, someone's got to take him because the Steelers pass on another one of my guys, the nickel corner position. I'm going to lose it. So, with the 9th pick, the Trent McDuffie replacement is Avian Terrell.
Wow.
He is I watch him as a pure nickel. He can come downhill. He can play that ability. But he's good in coverage, has good on-ball skills, can go man, can go zone. I think you could play him at safety, too. He is just an all-around talent that I hope someone takes him before the Steelers pass on him because I might cry if they pass on another nickel like that again.
Well, fair enough, right? Oh man. I can't believe Jeremiah Love has fallen this far, but I'm not going to take him here.
I can.
So basically throw a dart at their defense and we can pick that. And they also need interior offensive line help. And then just that sick, demented side of me would be like, oh my God, can you imagine Kenyon Sadiq? And that's just.
Hang on. You say that, I imagine Kenyon Sadiq lining up against Myles Garrett or TJ Watt, and I chuckled.
Yeah, but but they'll play him as a big slot.
Oh, that's kind of what you have to play him at right now.
Exactly. And you're not going, although at 10th pick, Carnell Tate's kind of a thing, but I'm going to go Thieneman. They need help on the back end. His speed allows for a lot of recovery. They did give up quite a few points last year. So.
Oof. Okay, I'm torn here. Because I really want to address trenches here because I feel like there's some good offensive linemen on the board. But if you're the Dolphins, you just trade away Jalen Waddle, and you can take the first receiver in the draft.
Yeah. No.
I just oof. Yeah, you know what? I did this in my first mock draft that I did. I like the fit. I think he'd play off Malik Willis extremely well. He's not my number one wide receiver. In fact, he's my third, but I just like the fit here. I like him with the play style. Give me Mekhi Lemon here to the Dolphins.
Well, there you go. The Dallas Cowboys.
Defense?
Slightly. But I also I also look at that and like what if they drafted Carnell Tate and then rescinded that franchise tag?
I don't think you rescind it. I think you just trade him.
Well, has he? I don't think he's signed it yet, though.
You can pretty much just like get him in, say, hey, we're trading you here. They're gonna pay you an extension. They want to pay you. He'll sign it. Go there. He'll sign the extension. That's pretty much with what would happen.
Because right now Dallas has $16 million to play with, right? So they can't. I mean, technically, they can barely sign their draft picks, right? And they would have very little left over. But if they trade, get value, I'm going Carnell Tate. He plays he plays so well on the inside and I just think that
And when you
maybe
move off Pickens, it gives you 4 years of service time with a relatively cheap contract next to CeeDee Lamb.
yeah, and maybe you can trade him back to the Steelers.
My team hates me, so I wouldn't be shocked. Although, I don't think that's allowed. I think it has to be like 18 months after you trade him. Can you trade a guy back to his team?
Oh, really?
Team.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's written in the CBA. The Rams. And the Rams are saying, screw you, Dallas. We want a Cardinal Tate. I think that's why you made the pick, honestly. So.
No, I'm serious. I am in the moment for what I'm doing. So, and do you really think that the Rams would go?
Yeah,
Tate?
I do. He fits that Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. Not the fastest, but ooh, he is a smooth route runner type guy.
Fair enough.
Okay. If I'm the Rams general manager, I'm saying, let's draft CJ Allen, and Sean McVay is looking at me with a death stare. That's what my brain goes to, because they need linebacker help. But I want to appease my amazing head coach. Do you want to know how I'm going to appease him?
You're going to give him a tackle?
I'm going to torment a Seattle Seahawks fan right now. I'm going to take Jeremiah Love here with the Rams.
Huh, interesting, because I mean they just extended last year.
So the reason why is Kyron Steele you can get pretty much out of next year. Pretty much out of completely. Blake Corum, he hasn't really become that guy we all think he could be. He's a fine solid 2, but also when you're the Rams, you look at how much Kyron Williams plays and all that. If he gets hurt, can you rely on Blake Corum in January to take the workload? No. Jarquez Hunter, they drafted last year. They don't play their rookie running backs a lot, to be fair, but he didn't do anything really on the field that I can recollect. And Love gives you an ability out of that passing game that I don't even think Kyron Williams can give to you. He's such a good receiver. You can line him up all over. He would be like that Swiss Army knife Sean McVay would finally have and could utilize, like how Kyle Shanahan utilizes Christian McCaffrey.
I mean, it makes sense. I just wasn't sure. The Ravens, not the Raiders.
And Raiders fans are not happy about that.
Well, you can't blame them, right? We don't even need to get into the debate about what we personally think happened. But with Jesse Minter being the head coach and everything else, I'm going to pull the trigger on CJ Allen and give him that linebacker that he wants.
I get that. That hurts. Here's the thing. Bye-bye Roquan, because that's just a better version of you now.
Yeah, younger, cheaper.
Less injured.
Yeah.
Bucks. Ugh. Now, I think this is something I wanted to talk about, because I saw this rumor pop up today while I was dealing with a bunch of things. Apparently, Bucky Irving is considering retirement due to CTE issues and mental health.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
So I don't know how true it is. I saw it pop up on my timeline today, so I wanted to mention it here. Because if that's the case, wow, that changes my pick drastically. Because instead of a win now pick, I am very much looking at what do we got for the future pick?
Yeah, but you're not going to, there's nothing really here that you could, you're not taking another running back.
No, but there is a guy here I would take that's a win now, but I wouldn't take him if I'm kind of going for a rebuild. And I'm just going to do something that I would very much agree with. I'm going to take Monroe Freely and I'm going to move him into guard. I'm just doing that because I will scream from the heavens that you take these big Georgia guys who have really sloppy technique, you move them into guard. They are athletic freaks, absolutely, but their technique is not really sound, but they're big, powerful guys that they get their hands on you, you're not going anywhere. Plus, he's extremely young and can develop in the interior.
and he's the size of a bus.
Exactly. So don't matter who's the running back there, the hole's going to be pretty big.
All right. So with the first pick for the Jets, we took Arvell Reese. The Jets are back on the clock. Still need a lot of help. Still not sure about McCoy, so we're going to take Delane.
Ooh. Any thoughts of Jordan Tyson there?
I mean, could have, but this is what we would do, and I am always going to draft defense and offensive line.
Yeah, well, the Lions are saying thank you for Spencer Fano.
There you go.
Do I need to explain why the Lions would be all over him? Just a
No.
pretty good athlete at the tackle position. Big, strong, gets his hands on you. He's going to grind you into dust.
Yeah.
Now here at the Vikings, and they've had a very interesting offseason of acquiring Kyler Murray. Now, one thing I would like to point out, if you're thinking secondary, is Brian Flores tends to like playing veterans at the secondary position, so he doesn't really put a focus on younger corners, younger safeties, as he feels like his system is very complicated to learn. So, like, that's something I just want to point out here, because, quite honestly, I see a pretty interesting guy I would take here.
Yeah. I still think that they need defense. And I mean, so here's the thing. We don't know what's going to happen with Grenard.
It feels like he's going to get traded. I don't know when.
But yeah, and so I'm just not sure.
It's a will they, won't they type thing, it feels like right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's the thing. I think they need to address defense, but I don't really like anybody in this spot. But I will take a wide receiver right here. And my reasoning for that is because if we look at the roster and then we look at like some of the problems that in the roster building that they have. I mean, let's remember they don't have a whole lot of money. And I really do think that Jonathan Grenard is going to get traded. And I mean, you could see Sadiq going because Hawkinson is like $15 million this year. And so, I mean, I get that.
Does he really fit O'Connell's system?
I don't think so. But Jordan Addison has been nothing but problems over the last few years. He's $4 million against the cap. Not huge as opposed to some of these other players, but you can start fresh, and you don't have the fact that he's not playing every game because of some sort of
bonehead decision.
Yes, that would I was trying to think of a politically correct way to say that.
Listen, at this point, like, the one thing you can expect with Addison is something stupid's going to pop up. That's all you can expect.
Exactly. So.
And I assume you're going to take another Jordan here. Would I be correct?
Jordan Tyson. I thought I said that.
I did not hear you if you did, so my apologies. And
no, I thought I did that.
The Panthers are not happy because that was their pick.
Ah, well.
So I'm in a tough spot here because like a lot of the guys I really would love for Carolina are off the board. I'd love Tyson. I would love CJ Allen here. You could talk me into Jeremiah Love with them. You very much could. I don't think you'd get there, but you could talk me into it. So I look at the Panthers. They just paid a metric ton of money to Jalen Phillips. And I kind of still want to take an edge. But because they paid so much money to Jalen Phillips, I feel like I don't have to take a guy that's probably ready day one. That might need a little bit of time seasoning. So I'm going to take the boom or bust type pick. I'm going to take Keldrick Falk here. I'm just going to hope he develops. Because if he develops, that could be very scary.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So we have Dallas on the clock. And if everybody remembers, I took a wide receiver. I get all the double picks this go around, right?
Wait, hang on. Do you get Miami? You get Miami's second pick, too.
So, yeah, so it's kind of interesting.
Wait, no, not all doubles. I get the Chiefs.
Okay, well, there you go. There you go. Dallas needs a ton of help on the defensive line. We all know that. But they also need help in the secondary. And so I'm going to take McNeil Warren here.
Oh, wow. I wasn't even to the safeties yet before you said that.
Yeah. I like the eraser effect that the safeties in this draft have. And I think the really, really impact safeties, with the exception of one, are going to go relatively high. There's one that I think will go a little later. Hopefully late enough that a certain team that I like might be able to acquire him, but that's neither here nor there. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock.
Yeah.
Are you going to go Ty Simpson here?
Honestly, it's in consideration with how the board fell.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I'm very much like not gung-ho on a certain position the Steelers need to draft. My two guys I want, and I'm just scrolling up, is Avian Terrell or CJ Allen. I don't expect my team to take either one, but that's what I would like. So looking at the board here, Blake Miller's becoming a very popular pick. I'm lower on Blake Miller than everyone else, I guess. I think a big issue of mine is I just don't like the Clemson coaching staff, and I think they don't do a good job developing or working with their talent whatsoever there anymore. So I'm very low on their type systems. I just this is kind of like a sucky spot for me. Because, like, the player I would honestly consider taking here is Omar Cooper Jr., but I'm going to draft a wide receiver in the first round. I'm bringing in Aaron Rodgers to be the quarterback. He's not going to throw to a rookie wide receiver. But then again, also, like, I'm not the biggest Pittman fan. I don't really think he's a long-term option or even a 2-year option. I just don't know about that. I just, like, the way this team is built makes this so hard because the guys I would really like to see to bring youth to this team are not on the board. So I guys have to go all over. And you know what? F it. Let's get the second quarterback here. I'll take Ty Simpson.
Wow.
And this is strictly because I'm not a fan of the 27 draft class, like, for quarterbacks. I think otherwise looks really good, but I look at that quarterback class. I like Dante Moore. I like Arch Manning. Yeah, that's all I got. And the Steelers seem determined to not be picking high enough to take one of those guys. So you need to take a chance. You need to take a chance in the first round. And even if he doesn't play this year because you're bringing back Aaron Rodgers, you can give him a year to sit, develop, learn the system. He fits McCarthy's system way better than Aaron Rodgers does today. He's not afraid to throw over the middle of the field. He's not afraid to throw it deep. He struggled with bad offensive line play at Alabama. He struggled with bad rushing offense at Alabama. Pretty much everything on Alabama last year, everything you know about Alabama was not there. Ty Simpson worked magic with a lot of deficiencies on that offense. So if I'm looking at a guy I'll take a chance on, and maybe he plays 27, doesn't work out, I look at the 2028 draft class like, okay, let's take another chance.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Trenches for the Chargers. Definitely trenches. I mean, they, as far as I'm concerned, they can add depth anywhere on the defensive line. but interior guard play is important as well.
The Chargers are so weird that I'm very concerned about their defense now that they no longer have Jesse Minter.
Yeah, no, that's 100% true. And I mean, how much longer can you expect Khalil Mack to, to be viable?
The dude he's been defying me long enough that I'm like, oh, okay, let's see how much longer he's got. But you are absolutely right. He is 33, 34, somewhere in that range. And typically, guys who are pass rushers, they don't have like a steady decline. They will just all of a sudden just drop off. That's kind of that's the risk like, you're running.
Yeah, it does do that. And Khalil Mack is 35.
He's older than I thought.
We're going to take Akeem Mesidor here. Power.
Closer to win now player. Too.
Yeah, exactly.
Here I'm with the Eagles, and man, this is not a fun team to draft for because they're just depressing right now. Here's the thing. Howie will manage to get a great pick. I'm just going to go with Caleb Banks here. Strictly because he's one of my best players still on the board. I look at Banks as a 6'6 guy. I have concerns about leverage 100%, but I put him on the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line that is reportedly looking to move off Jalen Carter. You look at that, you want to bring in youth, you want to bring in a bunch of stuff there. And also, I don't think this offensive coaching staff and, head coach is long for the world. Do I really want to draft an offensive player, put him in a system, and then maybe next year he's got to learn a brand new system where no matter what, I think Vic Fangio's staying there.
Fair enough. I'm just going to make this pick Omar Cooper Jr. They need offensive talent. And there are some guards that they can pick up later that they can insert and get value out of. But now, so we've picked Cooper Jr. for them, and we've also picked
Francis Mawagi.
Yeah, exactly. So, giving him some pieces on both sides of the ball to work with.
Here I am with the Bears, and I'd really like one of those edges. I really would. I'm not the biggest fan of this Bears pass rush whatsoever. I'm not a fan of this Bears defense, and I love what the job they've done overturning their secondary, pretty much getting rid of all those guys, bringing in Kobe Bryant, who I'm sure you're a little sad to see leave, but tremendous football player. I really would love to just take secondary here, so I'm just going to take the highest secondary guy I have on the board here, Colton Hood.
Well, that was dumb.
I know you wanted him, but strictly because the Bears last year were so reliant on turnovers. Turnovers.
Oh, gosh, yeah, absolutely. You're 100% right.
I will not believe in a defense that has to rely on turnovers. I think you need guys who can make plays on the ball that can actually just cover their guy instead of having to rely on turnovers. I think Colton Hood can very much develop into a a very high level number one corner. That's what I'm trying to say. I think he can develop into that.
Well, I mean, the Bills are going to just kind of like jog up kind of quickly and take Caden McDonald here.
I don't think Brandon Beane's taking Caden McDonald. That'd make too much sense for the Bills.
Well, this is what I'm doing, though.
I know, but like you got at least take a little Brandon Beane in you.
I did.
And what did he tell you to pick?
Told me to pick Caden McDonald.
I highly doubt that. he probably would say, "Hey, let's check notes." Denzel Boston. That's my Keon Coleman mock comp. 49ers. Wow. For a team that dressed the front seven so much last year, I really still don't care for their pass rush whatsoever. And
well, they didn't really address the pass rush, though. They addressed the run game, right?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, when when half your draft class is hurt, and then your superstar players are both injured on the defensive line, on the defense. I mean, they had a phenomenal year, says a Seahawks fan, for the injuries and everything else that they had. But no, I don't really feel like they addressed the pass rush last year, right? So
I'm stuck here because I really, really like Cassius Howell, but that arm length terrifies me to my core because he's got shorter arms than Ruben Bain. And we already have those questions about Ruben Bain. I have more questions about Howell then. And my other guy I have rated highly is Mason Thomas from Oklahoma. It's like I'm kind of in a weird spot there that, like, do I go one or the other? But ultimately, I'm going to go Casey Concepcion for the wide receiver from Texas A&M.
oh wow, okay.
Their offense is so freaking old.
Like, what are you talking about? I mean, they just brought in a very spry. I can't even say it with a straight face.
As you're pointing out, Mike Evans, older. George Kittle, older. Christian McCaffrey, older. Trent Williams, older. I can't even think of their other wide receivers. Like, Ricky Pearsall, he's on the younger side. But he's older for a rookie contract.
Is he really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was older at Florida. Because he was a COVID senior, I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure. So Mike Evans is 33.
Ricky Pearsall will be 26.
26. And then, I understand what you're saying. Jordan Watkins, I don't see. Is this not updated, or did I just go past it? Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver. Mike Evans, wide receiver. Brandon Ayuk is still on there.
But my point is, like, you look at their offense, it has such a reliance on older players. And what's the 49ers' biggest issues? Health. Oh, let's keep on relying on old players. We need some youth in there. We need to get some youth that can actually have a chance to stay healthy. And Casey Concepcion can do that. He can go to the slot. He's a very good slot player. He's also a very dynamic return man. I think we look at everything. Casey Concepcion would be a fun gadget player for Kyle Shanahan's offense.
Fair, yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. They did bring in Christian Kirk.
Is he 30 yet? Is he allowed?
He's got to be at least 30, isn't he? No, he's only 29.
How old will he be at the start of the season?
29. He doesn't turn 30 until November 18th.
Oh, wow. That's young.
I know, right? So you're taking Concepcion there for the Niners.
Casey Concepcion.
All right. I really thought you might go offensive line there.
So the reason why I won't do it, and it's strictly because Kyle Shanahan's disciples do not believe in drafting offensive linemen in the first round. And I believe they should be punished for doing so I will not give them that.
Fair enough.
Speaking of that, Kyle Shanahan disciples on the clock.
Yeah, exactly. And
Are you thinking of addressing the pass rushing issues for the Texans?
Oh, I think TJ Parker here would be fun. But I'm going to take Max Eikenor.
From ASU?
Yeah. Big offensive lineman. Stick him on the like interior guard.
So I wanted to pull this up because I remember seeing this when I went over offensive lineman. I think it was 2 nights ago or something. He only gave up 3 hits and 11 hurries last year.
And he's 6'6", 335 pounds or something like that. Extremely athletic. And so
And he played 860 snaps this season, 923 the year before. He's
Yeah, those
got
were the exact
experience.
numbers that I was going to run out too.
Sorry, having in my notes right here. uh, I like that pick. I don't think the Texans will do it because, again, Kyle Shanahan disciples. Maybe the Bill Belichick disciple will talk some sense into them. But until then, I'm not betting on it. Now, here I am with the Chiefs. I know a lot of Chiefs fans would probably want Kenyon Sadiq here. Sorry, I'm just not the biggest Kenyon Sadiq guy. I just look at this Chiefs team. I just do not care for their trenches on either side. I had to take Avian Terrell for my own mental sanity at 9. But I look at the trenches, I don't like it. So I'm just going to take Caleb Lumo here. Because that right tackle position, like, the guys they have ran out there, Jawan Taylor, I'm sorry, he was never it. Like, you're putting Pat Mahomes in a compromising position. You're going to put Kenneth Walker in a compromising position behind this offensive line. I don't care how much you paid for a running back. I don't care how good he is. The ceiling for your running back will always be how good's your offense line. In my opinion, the Chiefs' offense line still isn't good. This needs to be addressed with how much money you paid to Kenneth Walker. This needs to be addressed with how much money you're paying to Pat Mahomes. It just needs to be addressed.
Fair enough. Just so we're clear, the Dolphins are going to take Sadiq.
Walking out of this with Mekhi Lemon and Kenny Sadiq, you are bringing the offensive splash to Miami still. In the offseason, you get rid of Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Here I am with the Patriots, and I'd be cussing out the Chiefs for taking Lumo. Ugh. So, I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I would look at pretty much 2 players here, and I have them up here. Emmanuel Pregon and Lee Hunter. These are the 2 players I'd look at for the Patriots. Offense line is very important. You have Drake May. He took a beating in the Super Bowl, and he took a beating throughout the playoffs. In a lot of regular season games, he took a beating. That is not sustainable whatsoever. Lee Hunter, on the other hand, very good run defender, and the Patriots could use some more boost there. But as much as I would love to take Lee Hunter here because I think he'd be perfect for Mike Vrabel, I have to protect Drake May. So I'm going to take him.
Do you also think about wide receiver here? I mean, not that. So not that I.
So you bring this up, and I'll explain why. I'm not looking at this here. Denzel Boston, I have a low 3rd round grade on him. I am not high on him. Chris Bell is coming off an ACL injury. I really like a lot of his film, but like coming off an ACL, you have worries. Jermai Bernard, no comment there. My highest wide receiver on the board right now is actually Skylar Bell. And I don't feel comfortable taking him at pick 31.
Fair enough.
So that's why I would 100% go Emmanuel Pregon here. Pregnon, you need to protect Drake May. You cannot have a rehash in that Super Bowl. You cannot have a rehash in that playoff run. Because a big talk was he was the schedule. He played against bad teams. No, he got his head taken off because his offense line couldn't block for him.
So just so we're clear here, Seattle Seahawks are on the clock at 32. And Jermod McCoy is on the clock. Now, this isn't happening.
It could, but if he's on, I think it's possible because of his knee. If he's on the clock here, he's not going first round.
I just don't see him on here. But he's gonna work out at his pro day. That's already been announced. So so here's the thing. I'm not going to take McCoy just for the simple reason that just hurts my heart too much because he's not going to get to Seattle at 32 in the real draft. And so I'm trying to be more realistic about this.
So again, I will say this, like, how many years ago would we have said, oh, Miles Jack would have fell out of the first round completely? We wouldn't have believed it. But when we see these knee injuries that we as the general public are not as informed as these teams are, or even some reporters, I think a lot of the reporters don't fully know the full extent of a lot of these knee injuries unless they have
No.
contacts within like the college programs. Just because like a lot of this is hush hush.
Well, doctors can't talk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So and I get that. I just don't see it. Now, we saw last year probably the highest rated DB fall to the second round. Year before,
Cooper DeJean.
I mean, yeah. So we've seen it happen, right? So there is that possibility. So I'm just going to take my next best cornerback off the board, and I'm just going to see how well you know me.
Listen, you would watch D'Angelo Pond's film and pump your chest, but the problem is you got a guy who plays that position. So
Exactly.
I'm gonna take CC. That's who I would guess here.
You're close. Chris Johnson.
Ah, that makes sense.
So you think about what Seattle plays for their defense, and they like to do a lot of zone. Chris Johnson excelled in zone on the board on the boundary, right? So he can play boundary corner zone, and he's good against run, which is kind of like a Mike McDonald wet dream. So we're going to take Chris Johnson and round out the first round. And
There were some interesting picks here. I think we disagree on a lot of players' values, which is normal and fine. But with how the board fell in the top 10, it kind of just led to some chaos because you look at where I was, the Rams, I was all fully on board taking Cardinal Tate or Makai Lemon. Neither one were there because they got pushed. Some people got pushed on board. Some people were taken early. Caleb Downs on the board for Miami. I'm taking him. Dylan Thiman's on the board for Miami. I'm taking him there. But other guys just went earlier, pushed players down, and really shuffled up the draft order a lot.
I would 100% agree with that.
Well, that's going to wrap us up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like this if you like this video. Click subscribe if you're new to the channel. Share this. We'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching. And hey, I believe at the day this is uploaded, it will be a month out from the NFL draft.